Hey guys, it's me, Toby, and this is the 100th subscriber special. And today we're going to be doing a deep dive and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Season 1, Episode 1 of the very first show. And this episode is called Turtle Tracks. Let's begin, shall we? The episode starts off with a crime wave going on in New York City. Like stolen cars and graffiti. Also, April O'Neil is the one doing the voiceover for this news report. April interviews one of the scientists to ask what does the equipment do that was stolen by abandoned ninjas, and he simply says he has no idea. Then it cuts to another guy examining a crime scene where the guy is still tied up, and they discover that it's from a ninja rope. Here we get our first glimpse of the Shredder in the show for the first time. And here is some of Shredder's goons who are ready to attack, as you can clearly see. Anyways, the goons are ready to attack the Channel 6, I believe, news crew, including April O'Neil. So April makes a run for it into the sewers, where she is saved by these mysterious ninjas that they don't show what they look like yet. As you can see, the ninjas are saving the day. And after April sees what the ninjas look like, she can't handle all the commotion and she faints. Once she wakes up, she is, of course, offered tea by none other than Splinter, the first appearance of Splinter in the show. Then Splinter explains how they came to be and the origin story of Splinter and the Turtles for the first time ever said. How he was exiled and lived in the sewers with some rats, and then one day a little boy came along and dropped turtles down the drain into some mutagen. This is the first time we hear about the mutagen too. And that's how they all came to be, as Splinter is explaining. And since the turtles were last touched by Hamato Yoshi, they became human-like, and since Yoshi was touching the rats last, they became rat-like. He became rat-like. Then he introduced each of the turtles, with the colorful background matching their bandana. After that story, April thinks the turtles are the ones who did the robberies, and Shredder is watching the whole thing as they speak. The goons come back to Shredder and tell him that they have failed their mission. They cut back to the Turtles and April O'Neil, and they make a compromise that if the Turtles can catch the real thieves, that April will get a story and they get left alone. So they get a disguise from a men's clothing shop and head to Ninja Town, where Shredder is spying on them in the background, as you can see here. The Turtles are getting pizza from Ninja Pizza while April's getting kidnapped and they don't know. And as you can see here, they're about to get the bill, and they sort of just make a run for it because, well, they don't have cash. Then they discover that April was kidnapped. They track her down, and a giant fight ensues. The fight takes place on top of a roof of one of the Foot's headquarters, as you can see. And the turtles pretty much annihilate the robots one at a time, as you'll see in a second. Boom. Leonardo destroys one of the foot soldiers with his swords, and Shredder's watching the whole thing as this is going on through a monitor. Shredder is getting more and more mad, so he sends more foot soldiers, and one of them has a soundwave beam that hits one of the turtles. The turtles get cornered, and eventually they get to the point where they have to chase the remaining foot soldiers down a building that ultimately ends up getting filled with water, and they have to try to escape, as you can see, before the building completely floods and they drown. And this scene is the first time Michelangelo says cowabunga, and right here is when the building completely floods. They get to the roof of the building, where they grab on a rope and fly off as the building explodes. Later, they get to the headquarters and show Master Splinter what the robots look like, and he fears that it is indeed the foot. And that's when the episode ends.